Meta's latest round of layoffs hitting very close to home. New state filings show nearly 1,400 workers in King County are set to lose their jobs starting in late July. It is part of the company's push to cut nearly 10% of its global workforce as it doubles down on artificial intelligence. The cuts span offices in Seattle, Bellevue, and Redmond and include roles from software engineers to data scientists to support staff. Workers were notified earlier this month and will continue receiving pay and benefits through their separation dates. Joining us now to discuss all of this is economics professor Nick Huntington-Klein from Seattle University. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Of course, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, let's just start with the big picture here. What do layoffs like this, on this scale, 1,400, 20% of Meta's Pacific Northwest workforce, tell us about the health of the tech sector here in Washington?
The tech sector here has been going through a pretty hard time for the past year or so. We've seen a lot of layoffs previously from Amazon. There were a lot of layoffs over the past year, and we've seen, there's enough tech employment in here in the King County that when we see these big layoffs happen, it actually is big enough to affect the unemployment rate. We saw an increase in the King County or the Bellevue, Seattle, Tacoma area unemployment rate to 5.7% in January, which is considerably above where it typically is. And now the thing in the past has always been we've been able to recover from these, right? We've already seen some recovery from January. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.8% in March. And, we had a bunch of layoffs in 2023 as well, and all those jobs came back. So the real question is, when they say they're realigning to AI, does that eventually mean they're going to start hiring a bunch of new people to fill those roles that they're currently vacating? And it's unclear whether that's going to happen because they already say that in addition to the layoffs, they're going to be taking a bunch of people who are still employed and repositioning their jobs to AI. So those jobs might already be filled. We might not see as much of a recovery as we did in 2023 or even earlier this year.
Which is interesting. Also, how much of the economic impact will be felt beyond tech, especially in Bellevue, Seattle, and Redmond, where Meta has that pretty large footprint?
We're likely to see a pretty big carry-on effect. These are pretty high-paying jobs, and so a loss of even one job means a huge amount of money that is no longer going to somebody who lives in the area, spends in the area. You can sort of anticipate that every lost job if that's a high-paying tech job, might lead to one, maybe even two additional layoffs in the area, just because those people are no longer spending, unless, of course, those jobs do come back.
And to your point, these are high-paying jobs. So what happens to all of that talent? Do workers stay here or do they start looking elsewhere?
It's a big question as to whether the other employers in the tech sector are going to start hiring. In previous waves of layoffs, you actually see sometimes increases in new company foundings where new startups will occur because people have been laid off and they want to go start a company. And whether that's going to happen this time is unclear. But whether people are going to end up moving elsewhere, maybe people will move out of the area who currently live in Bellevue. Maybe some of those people will get reassigned to jobs in other companies, other tech companies, and some of them might remain unemployed for a while. Meta does have very generous severance package benefits, and so we can expect at least this particular layoff, there's going to be a bit more time to adjust before we see an immediate effect on the economy. So we likely won't see big effects, at least for a few months after the actual layoffs happen in July.
We're talking about 1 in 5 Pacific Northwest Meta employees. So how competitive is the market going to be for those workers if they do want to stay local?
This is a pretty tight market for tech workers right now. Often when there were tech layoffs, they would just get absorbed by other companies that were hiring, Microsoft, Amazon, but Amazon just did a bunch of layoffs. They might not be interested in hiring a bunch of people coming from Meta at the moment. It's unclear what other companies like Microsoft or Google might be planning to do. Maybe they will be picking up some of these employees. Maybe they see an opportunity here, but also they might also be planning to downsize as well. So the real question that nobody knows the answer to is whether the shift to AI will lead to a bunch of new tech jobs that they'll want to hire for, or if those jobs will get replaced by the AI.
Right. That is the big question, isn't it? Okay, finally, what ripple effect should we be watching out for from housing to small businesses as all of this plays out?
We should expect to see that, a lot of places where consumers spend their money, especially in Bellevue, where about half of these layoffs are happening and is a smaller area in general. You can see those effects happening most directly and quickly. So if you work in a restaurant in Bellevue, this is probably not a great time for you to be working in a restaurant in Bellevue. Similar to other kinds of consumer goods, that's going to be the immediate impact that we're going to see.
Wow. We're going to be talking about this in the weeks and months ahead for sure, because AI is here to stay, and who knows how that's all going to roll out and impact the economies across all of the nation. Nick Huntington Klein, always great to have you on our show. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you so much. Have a good night.